Hey guys, before I get into this next video, I'd appreciate if you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you ain't already, and share it. That helps me get into the algorithm of YouTube. Right now I'm lost somewhere. But anyway, I'd appreciate it. I'm pretty new to this, guys, so I'm learning as I go. But I'm trying to put stuff up that I think would be interesting, and if not, you guys can tell me, and I'll find stuff that's interesting to you. I'm trying. But this next article I'm going to show you is an article that was just posted today on the 19th, this morning. It's an article about who released the C virus. I ain't going to say it because I'll probably get in trouble if I post this. But anyway, this next post is pretty important to listen to, and I'm going to let you listen to it right now. But I had to get it pulled up here, so hold on just a second. Should have had this ready, but I was messing around. Now it won't pull it up. Here we go. Let me fit it to the screen real quick, and then I'll get it up here. Sorry, guys. I was messing around with something else before I got here. But I'm getting it. But anyway, this next article is who... It might not surprise you. It might surprise you. It didn't surprise me any, because these people are evil, and they're all about money, and this is where the money is going to be going for the treatment of this virus. So I'll let you listen to it here. Hold on. Bear with me here.
Rockefeller, Davos, IMF, and World Bank, CFR, Rothschild, are responsible for the C virus. The biggest con of my life. By Benjamin Fulford. Letters to the editor. 13 comments. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=CGP 6KFE 0 DTS &feature =EMB_logo. Sir, Madam, here is the evidence. This C virus scenario has been in preparation and under study for many years. See the 2010 Rockefeller report. It is not disputable, since the information comes from the official patent registers in the Netherlands and the United States. And we have all the documentation. Big updates. Third deposit found with obvious PRE planning. As we have shown in previous exhibits, the whole COVIDiocracy is a farce and a simulation long prepared by the World Bank, IMF, Rothschilds, and their lemmings, in partnership with Rockefeller. Our latest discoveries complement these previous revelations. First recorded, Netherlands, 2015. Source, Dutch government website on the patent register info, text copy. A method is provided for the acquisition and transmission of biometric data, for example vital signs, of a user, where the data is analyzed to determine if the user is suffering from a viral infection, such as COVID-19. The method includes using a pulse oximeter to acquire at least the pulse and the percentage of oxygen saturation of the blood, which is transmitted wirelessly to a smartphone. To ensure the accuracy of the data, an accelerometer is used in the smartphone to measure the movements of the smartphone and/or the user. Once the exact data is acquired, it is uploaded to the cloud or host, where it is used either alone or with other vital signs to determine if the user is, or is likely to be, suffering from an infection. Viral, such as COVID-19. Depending on the specific needs, the data, changes to it, and/or the determination can be used to alert medical personnel and take the corresponding action. Second recording, US, 2015. Detailed information below. Google Patents download, PDF. One key detail struck me about these recordings. They were both filed and updated years ago, but they were scheduled to be released to the public in September 2020. This is proof enough that they knew in 2015 what was going to happen in September 2020. Third registration, US, 2017, update from 2015. Source. Before presenting the technical details of the patent, let's consider the inventor's Facebook for a moment. Did you notice something? Patent info, full copy title, system and method of using, biometrics, and displaying biometric data. U.S. Patent Application 20170229149 Kind Code. A 1 Summary. A method is provided for processing and displaying a user's biometric data, either singly or in combination in sync with other data, such as the user's video data, for a period when biometric data has been acquired. The method includes storing the biometric data so that it is linked to an identifier, and at least one timestamp squared, for example start time, sampling frequency, etc., and storing the data video so that they are linked to the ID, and at least one timestamp, for example, the start time. By storing the data in this way, the biometric data can be displayed either real-time or delayed in synchronization with the video data, and the biometric data can be searched to identify at least one biometric event. The video corresponding to the biometric event can then be displayed, alone, or with at least one biometric element of the user during the biometric event. Claims. What is claimed is 1. Use of said at least one program to link at least said session number, said start time, and a sampling rate to said biometric data, at least said session number being used to link said biometric data to said video data, and to minus said sampling rate, and said startup time being used to bind, and said start time being used to relate. 1. Use of said at least one program to link at least said session number, said start time, and a sampling rate to said biometric data, at least said session number being used to link said biometric data to said video data, and to minus said sampling rate, and said startup time being used to bind, and said start time being used to relate individual values of said plurality of values to individual times in said period of time, receiving said biometric event, said biometric. A method for identifying a video corresponding to a biometric event of a user, said video being displayed with at least one biometric element of said user during said biometric event, comprising receiving a request to start a session, using at least one program running on a mobile device to assign a session number and start time to said session, receiving video data from a camera, said video data comprising video of at least one of said user, and the environment of said user for a period of time, said period of time starting at said start time, receiving biometric data from a sensor, said biometric data comprising a plurality of values on a biometric element of said user during said period of time, using said at least one program to link at least said session number and said start time to said video data. Use of said at least one program to link at least said session number, said start time, and a sampling rate to said biometric data, at least said session number being used to link said biometric data to said video data, and to minus said sampling rate, and said startup time being used to bind, and said start time being used to relate individual values of said plurality of values to individual times in said period of time, receiving said biometric event comprising a value or a range of said biometric, using said at least one program to identify a first value of said plurality of values corresponding to said biometric event, using said at least one program, and at least said start time, said sampling rate, and said time period to identify a first time in said time period corresponding to said first value of said plurality of values. and displaying on said mobile device at least said video data during said first time, with said first value of said plurality of values, wherein said first time is used to show said first value of said plurality of values in synchronization with a portion of said video data which shows at least one of said user and said user's environment during said biometric event. Description: cross-reference to the corresponding application. This request is a continuation of the THER. N degree 15 293,211, filed on October 13, 2016, which clarified. Description: cross-reference to the corresponding request. This application is a continuation of application number 15 293.211, filed October 13, 2016, which claims priority, pursuant to Section 119(e) of 35 U.S.C. over provisional application number 62 240.783, filed on October 13, 2015, which requests are specifically incorporated into this document, in their entirety, by reference. Background of the invention. 1. Field of the invention. The present invention relates to the reception and use of biometric data, and more particularly, to a system and a method for displaying at least one biometric data of a user as well as a video of the user when the at least one biometric data is measured and/or received. 2. Description of related art. Recently, devices have been developed which are capable of measuring, detecting, or estimating, in a practical form, at least one or more measurements related to physiological characteristics, commonly referred to as biometric data. For example, watch-like devices have been developed capable of measuring an individual's heart rate or pulse, and using this data along with other information, for example age, weight, etc., to calculate a result, such as the total calories burned by the individual during a given day. Similar devices have been developed to measure, detect or estimate other types of parameters, such as blood pressure, breathing patterns, breathing composition, sleeping patterns, and blood alcohol level, to name just a few. These devices are generically called biometric devices or biosensor measurement devices. As the types of biometric devices continue to develop, the way in which biometric data is used remains relatively static. For example, heart rate data is typically used to give individual information about their pulse and calories burned. On the other hand, blood alcohol data is generally used to give a person information about their blood alcohol level and to inform them whether or not they can drive a motor vehicle safely or legally. As yet another example, a person's respiratory rate, measurable for example either by the sound level in decibels or by changes in the level in decibels over a period of time, can be monitored by a doctor, nurse or medical technician to determine if the person has sleep apnea. While biometric data is useful in itself, it would be more informative or dynamic if it could be combined with other data, for example video data, etc., provided, for example, wirelessly, over a network, etc., to a device remotely, and/or searchable, for example, allowing the rapid identification of certain conditions, such as a high heart rate, and/or crossed, for example, using biometric data to identify a video section illustrating a specific characteristic, or vice versa. It is, therefore, necessary to have an efficient system and method capable of achieving at least some, if not all, of the aforementioned advantages, and also capable of merging the data generated in automatic or manual form by the various devices, which often use operating systems or technologies, for example hardware platforms, protocols, data types, etc. 4. Article rating. Subscribe. Log in. Please log in to comment. 13 comments. Newest. Xanderboy @Xanderboy.
I'm going to let you
2
hear these
hours ago.
comments.
No source, no download PDF working. How can I disseminate? 1. 0. Marilyn Grammatico @afcomjig.yahoo.com. 3 hours ago. Ben, whatever COVID is, people are dying from it. It may be 5G radiation. My cousin said her friend from grade school thought it was a scam and ended up with COVID on high amounts of oxygen and discharged from the hospital really messed up still. In addition to this, my cousin's friend's friend also hospitalized and discharged, then died from it. These people will never be right again and are suffering greatly. My cardiologist also said it is a real thing, and the worst part is throwing clots throughout the body. My cardiologist knows doctors who or
Hold on a second, guys. Trying to get back down here, right here.
Weekly geopolitical news and analysis.
Let me get back down here real quick. I'm going to start all over because this is interesting here. It'll do it. I don't know.
Ben, whatever COVID is, people are dying from it. It may be 5G radiation. My cousin said her friend from grade school thought it was a scam and ended up with COVID on high amounts of oxygen and discharged from the hospital really messed up still. In addition to this, my cousin's friend's friend also hospitalized and discharged, then died from it. These people will never be right again and are suffering greatly. My cardiologist also said it is a real thing, and the worst part is throwing clots throughout the body. My cardiologist knows doctors who autopsied dead corona patients. People have a right to be scared and upset. I hope these evil families are executed and have all their wealth stripped from them to go toward rebuilding our country and others, only fair. Do you have any insight into the election? On America This Week, a guy said emails showed perversion and treason of the Bidens that will be coming out soon. Hunter is a drug addict. I can't even believe I am living in the same universe anymore. My mind is blown. How can these people go for president? My cousin, a wonderful person, loves Hillary, Obama, and Biden, the Democrats. Very upsetting to see how brainwashed so many are. 3. 0. WNS 115 at Wandaspina. Reply to Marilyn Grammatico. 2 hours ago. I agree with everything you say regarding the virus being real, and sadly, people died from it as you share. At the same time, the CDC numbers recently posted show clear data that indicates the following: death from all causes in 2020 is lower than 2017, 2019 between Jan 1 August 1. To muddy the waters further, deaths in all the major categories went down. The questions are: 1. Where is the COVID-19 impact? 2. What happened to all the deaths by heart attack, cancer? Is there more to this story? 1. 0. Cornpoppin at Cornpoppin. 3 hours ago. 8 today, a lucky number for me. 1. 0. Sparnet at Sparnet. 4 hours ago. 6 this week. Now back to read the report. Hope all have a great week.
I think that's
1.
all the important ones. But anyway, these people up in here, right here, the Rothschilds. And if you don't know who the Rothschilds are, they are the world's richest people. They own the world's bank. And they get rich off of your money when You put it in any bank, they draw the interest from it. They get most of the interest off your money, and they're evil, and they're the ones that cause these wars around the world because they want the money to that. Wars are expensive, and the Rothschilds want that because they make the money off of wars, from the equipment that's used, from the ammunition, all the way up to the uniforms. They get the money for it. But everybody knows who the Rockefellers are. They're some of the richest people in the world and evilest people. And these people need to be charged for their crimes. And they haven't. They've never been charged. And everybody knows they're bad people. Everybody knows what they're about. And everybody knows that they cause a lot of damage. They cause a lot of mental damage to people. People suffer from their dumbness, from their evilness. And nobody seems to want to stop them. It seems that they get away with it time after time after time. But yeah, I heard this about, I don't know, a month ago maybe, that they could be involved in this coronavirus. I'm going to say, fuck it. They work with communist countries because they'll invent anything they want. And it's no surprise to me that they went to China and they had China develop this thing and release it, because they want to use technology to detect it, basically, is what they're saying. And I know some of this stuff in here you can't understand it. You might, but a lot of people might not. But they're developing this. They've developed the coronavirus so they could develop detection devices like your cell phone, your computer, anything that you do a video on, or put it next to your ear, and they spy on you. And they're getting rich off of it. That's how they keep getting rich. And also, the Rothschilds want depopulation. So that's involved too. They want depopulation because they don't want to spread the wealth. They want to keep it all to themselves. And BLM and Antifa and these snowflakes out here, they're just falling into the trap. They need to back up and take a look at what they're doing too. But anyway, it all starts with these dudes. And I'm going to leave it there. If you don't mind, I appreciate if you'd like this, subscribe, and share the hell out of it. Let people know what's going on, because this is bullshit. And also, I want to let you in on this. Some of the Democratic Party, the higher-ups, know about this crap, and they're involved in it too, and we need to get to the bottom of that. I'll have that article later as soon as they post it, but that's what's in my ear right now. But anyway, guys, just like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I appreciate it. I'm new at this, and I'm trying to get stuff up that y'all like. And if you'd leave some information in the bottom, in the comments, and let me know what you're interested in, I'll try to post that. But anyway, God bless, have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.